Hey guys, welcome to another fun and exciting Iron Mike GT Sport stream. Today we're at the Sardegna Road Track C manufacturers, and it's Group 3, I think. I think it's Group 3, maybe 4. No, Group 4. It is Group 4. I did a bit of practice throughout the week and did consider whether or not mediums only would be the way to go. Having a chat with Big Bruce the Shark, he was suggesting or recommending a no stopper on mediums, so I gave it a crack and I got the feeling it was possible. Because of the new conditions of the lengthy pit stop time, I thought it just wasn't worth going for a pit stop. And then also I was advised to get into the top 8 so that when the race starts you're actually on the straight, not trying to come around the corner. But as you can see, I can't help myself. First race of the day, wasn't too sure what to expect, and starting on mediums of course, I thought I'd start at the back anyway. Unfortunately in this race I'm going for a no stopper. And the reason why it's unfortunate is I told my pit crew that they're not as good as what they think they are. It's all about me. I'm the star of the show, and my pit crew are in protest this week, so they're not with me. So I have no choice. I cannot pit. I have to stay out for the whole race. So I got to make sure I don't eat my words by failing, so I've got to make sure I do well. Anyway, back with the show. So starting 19th, yeah, it was a bit slow that start, climbing up the hill and getting around that corner. And there weren't too many Japanese. I thought there were quite a few more, but there were probably 2 up near the front. You can see there's one Japanese guy, Taton, in first, and then there were 3 Japanese at the back here with me. So here we are, coming behind a Lamborghini who's a bit slow, and I found a few of these cars tended to take a wide corner. Ryolf, who started up near the front, I think he's span on that final corner, so he's at the back. Yeah, just strange. I found the final corner and this corner coming up, turn 1. A few people would take the corners quite wide, which is advisable, but if I'm going for a pass, I'll not send it, but take a tighter line. Now 25 laps, not stopping on mediums. I've got to try my best to look after my tyres, but the other thing is my fuel. There is heaps of it. I'm sure other cars have just more than 25 laps, so you'll see quite a bit where I'll try and stay in a lower gear and just burn off some fuel. See other cars going a bit wide there. I'll just take the driving line. So down here, I could put it into 6th gear, but in practice I thought I could just leave it in 5th. Occasionally, I don't know, maybe habit, I do drop it into 6th, but here you can see I'm holding it, and that's purely to try and get rid of some fuel. And a reasonably easy overtake. There are moments here, you'll see in the rearview mirror, he's actually a little bit faster than me, but once we're on this part of the track, it's not that easy to overtake. So you watch how much he catches up. He's going for a pass, but you can see in the radar, there's not much room, he's had to back out. And a bit of a bump there. Just getting each of these corners right was the key thing. So I actually found during practice during the week a bit of a rhythm, what line to take and when to start braking, and before braking just lifting a bit to just break away that momentum, so I'm not slamming on the brakes hard and just going in for a slide. So there's quite a few cars just making mistakes, And it was probably around here I thought, wow, I started 19th and I'm in 13th. You can see me burning more fuel there. Just trying to keep the revs up. And also, there's 4 cars in front of me, so no point in me trying to go too fast, or else I'll end up just on their bumper. Again, just trying to keep the right line on that shadow there. Just start hitting the brakes. So this Aussie here in the Citroen, yeah, again, just going out a bit wide. Just surprises me. To grab some slipstream, which is quite handy. And I think it's this turn here, it just stays out wide. It's just a little bit too easy. Down the 3rd. So I've got that done, and then next minute, got some Japanese guy, Sora. More mistakes. So from 11th to 10th, this is lap 5. So yeah, I just thought, wow, I'm doing okay. If I can keep this up, I'm going to be right up near the front. And could this become the stream of all streams that finally proves that I am the best GT Sport driver ever, period? That's what I was wondering at this point. I'm sure you're wondering that as well. It's funny, you know, like I've been doing quite a few overtakes and passes, but all of a sudden, me and my RCZ Peugeot, here I am up behind another RCZ. And I don't know, for some reason I thought, well, he's not going to be as easy as the others. And I would imagine most of these guys, as you can see people failing behind me, are probably on softs. And they're starting to wear pretty quick. So I don't know what nationality he is. I'm going to assume Chinese, but Rex Ken Chan. I'm assuming he's the Ken Chan Deli guy. So really, obviously the aim of getting rid of a lot of fuel is to make the car lighter, because that's a lot of fuel we're carrying around, which is contributing to the tyre wear with all that weight, but also obviously making turning corners a little bit more harder. So I did find that doing 25 laps on mediums, if I was to burn fuel, my lap times would stay consistent. Even though my tyres are wearing, my car's getting lighter, it kind of balances out and I'd have a consistent lap time. Whereas on softs, so I'm averaging 58, maybe 58 and a half seconds a lap. I think it was on softs I'd be doing 57, maybe 57 and a half. So that's 1 second a lap faster, which isn't a great deal considering then you've got a pit, which is a massive amount of time you've lost. So just hanging in there with the mediums, and I did find throughout my practicings the handling of the car wasn't too bad near the end. So it looks like even though the tyres were handled quite well. Just grabbing that slipstream again, still behind Rex Ken Chan. So kind of knew that this one here is, everyone behind me was relatively easy. Let's see what happens here. Alright. Okay, got past them. Give them the hazards, thank you. So, I don't know, maybe he's on softs and his tyres are starting to wear. See how wide he's off track. He's gone. Now this Japanese guy, Form 7 behind me. I started 19th, I think he started 18th, and he just seems to stick with me all the time. Like he's one guy I just couldn't shake. But behind, if you look at the right hand top road map, looks like there's a fair gap between him and the guy behind, which is Rex Kenchan, who went off track. So the cars are starting to spread out quite a bit now. In corners like this, I'd always just try and brake just a touch earlier. That was risky, what it did there. He could have just unghosted. So lucky. Yeah, some of these corners I'd try my best just to brake a touch earlier, to not put so much load on the tyres. I think it's this guy, Mental Hendo. I don't know what nationality that is, but this is the guy who I think gives me a bit of a hard time. Hard time as in I catch up to him, and maybe I've got strengths in certain parts of the track and he's got strength, so I will eventually get past him, but then his getting past me isn't so clean, and his strength I think is maybe in this area. So we'll see how we go. He's in the Porsche Cayman. And I've still got the Auto Form 7 behind me. So 8th place, heading towards halfway mark. Looking pretty good at the moment. So staying in 5th. Pushing hard, getting that move done. I was pretty happy with that. Did make contact, but I was as far in as I could be. I don't know if it's this lap where he goes for a move. And there are times you can see my tyres are starting to wear. So he's catching up here now. So no, not this. A bit of a tap here. That kind of puts me out a bit wide. I wasn't happy. I'm pretty sure it might be this lap or the next one. I start flashing my lights at him, and I was in my mind I was thinking about the punt. So you can see there I just bump drafted him, and it was because I thought I'm a little bit too close to him to be going for an overtake. If I tried it, I'd be pulling out of his slipstream and maybe just sitting just a bit behind him. Didn't have enough momentum, so a bit of a bump draft and then get the job done. Again, these just before the end of that curve, turning in, braking at the and I didn't brake at that point. I was distracted or something. I was so disappointed. So from 7th back up to 9th, I don't know, I just missed my brake point. But luckily there's a fair gap that I've remained in 9th place. But all that effort of trying to get past this Mental Hendo, I've just gave it up. It's over the halfway mark now. Still doing reasonable in the top 10. And tyre wear is tolerable. I seem to be on target for what I was aiming for. a no stopper, and tyres that were hanging in there to the end, and also getting rid of quite a bit of fuel. So during the week I did 2 practice runs at this, one without traction control and one with. And I've got traction control 2 on, and it just seems to have just a small effect on looking after the tyres. I think most of that wear is braking and this sliding, not necessarily the accelerating, which really is what traction control is all about, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it looks like that mental hendo, he's got quite far away from me. And I'm pretty sure we do cross paths again. So I had been doing 58 and a half second laps, and the last 3 have been 1:01 and 59s, but I think that's been a little bit of battling there. So we'll see what this lap is like. And there's mental hendo. So yeah, he's made a mistake and now I'm right on his backside. See how I go against the Cayman. Looking at the radar, yeah, it looks like I'm faster than him. So I get the feeling I've passed him quite cleanly. Not just that, oh, I thought I was going to get a penalty on that. I thought I cut that way too much. Now, maybe this lap where he passes me a little bit unclean. So I think I'm coming around here a touch slow. And then I've just left the left hand side way too much open and he's tucking in. And I wasn't happy with that at all. I think it was here I started flashing my lights to say you might want to readdress that. But this time of day with all this bright light, I don't think, oh yeah, you can see me in the bottom right and flash my lights, but I don't think he's going to see too much of that. Not unless I'm real close. So getting up, I think it was the next lap, lap 19. I was quite surprised that we're on lap 19. I don't know, I just would have thought we were on lap 15 or something. I was like, oh hell, we're near the end of the race. Yeah, so it looks like I'm just settling in, maybe without slipstream, but settling into the 59s 1 minute. But still, at this point, I still wasn't happy with this guy. But considering he was in 6th and I was in 7th, the consideration of just punting him nice and hard off in a corner, I thought it was just going to give me a real nasty penalty. And I'd be looking at the gaps behind me again in that right hand corner you can see the graph. 2.3 seconds, 2.4 is TPGN Ghost Rider. It's a bit close, so I thought, well, maybe giving him a punt really wasn't the best idea. Sometimes you've got to try and put a bit of emotion aside, and there he goes, the fool. Lap 19, he's going to pit, and that's going to cost him so much time. Obviously he had to, maybe his tyres were half screwed. So the guy who was in, what, I was in 19th, Auto Wancher Form 7, he's in position 5. He's about 8 seconds, I think that is. 8 seconds ahead. So it's quite a lead. He's just heading up to the final turn now. And so really lap 20, I'm kind of got my mind on the guys behind. And my tyres are really starting to wear now. My front right is probably, I'm guessing, 45% worn. Starting to head towards being pretty bad. But my lap times, 59.3, 59.0, 59.0. It's still pretty consistent. But had I pitted for new mediums halfway through, I'd probably be hitting 58.0s. So halfway through, let's say lap 13, that's 12 laps remaining, 1 second a lap, so that's 13 seconds, and yet the pit is about, I'm going to guess, about 20 seconds. So unless your car's unstable or you're losing a lot of time, it's really not worth it. These are all things you've got to weigh up in practice. To sort of throw out different scenarios, work out what's the best. And when it comes to race time, try your hardest to forget about everyone else and just stick to what you know. So many cars in this race, for example, have just gone off track because they've tried to outbrake someone, they're stepping out of their comfort zone, or they're getting into a battle and they're on the outside of the track, and I'm sure everyone goes through that, and you kick yourself afterwards. If only I hadn't done that, or just been a little bit more patient and waited for a straight. Just drive to your own ability. And there's nothing I love more than having no one else around me. I've got all the track to myself. And just being able to focus on my lines, my rhythm, my brake points. Just disappointed that one lap where I missed my break point, but the rest of it I was pretty happy with. I wasn't really getting those wide S's wrong, scraping walls all that much. So position 6 from 19, I was thinking, wow, that's pretty good. But the guys that I have behind me now, these are new guys, and they're really starting to catch up. So I couldn't help but think these guys obviously have reasonably fresh softs on. And so this guy in the pit, I was looking for a place from the past, and it was here. I thought, just go. Bang. Maybe, in hindsight, maybe I should have held my line and then let him pass in another place, but who's to say he wouldn't get impatient and just nudge me off track, thinking that I'm just blocking. So LPG 287, I could see he was just catching up real fast, just let him go. And then here's another guy, a Chiba Room, Japanese, and he's pretty much in the same boat. I just kind of knew I can't fight it. I still got a lap and a half to go, and he was menacing behind me in my mirror, and I am getting slower, so off he goes. So obviously when someone passes, straight away I'm looking at the split time, and it's that Ghost Rider and he's 2.8 seconds, and I've got 1 lap to go. So I knew, just stick to what you know, be clean, stick into this guy's slipstream if there's any, and hope like hell. Look at my front right. It's probably 60% worn now. So softs and medium available, but I only use medium and no pitting. So you'd know what my tyres would look like if I'd gone soft. Probably around here, yeah, here. I just sort of go into a little panic mode. So this was the first race of the day, and my only race. I was pretty happy with 8th. Happy with that. Hazards on, lights flashing. So once again, 8th place from 19th, up 11 places, and 47 points. Yeah, I was pretty happy with that, and it looks like the points are going up, so things are improving with my DR, of course. So hopefully things are on the up. Thanks for watching, and looking forward to seeing your streams. See you in the next one.